Hello, 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 beloved souls, and welcome to Soul Sex. My name is Autumn, the Enlightened Daughter, and today we're talking about communication, right? Communication is huge when it comes to sexual relations. We need to be on the same page, we need to be in alignment, right, for sexual pleasure really to be gratifying for both parties. Um, I find a lot of the people that I've worked with have an easier time telling me what they like and they don't like than they do their partners. They're afraid that they're going to offend them or that their partners will judge them or that they're not good enough, right? And so when we start to express ourselves and we start to have really honest and open conversations, we can open the pathways to more pleasure, to satisfying ends, to really being in alignment, right? Honoring who you are as a person and your body and your likes and your dislikes allows you then to fully express how you feel to your partner and to also receive the feedback from them, right? Because maybe they're feeling nervous about some things. Maybe they don't know if they should try something new or try something different because they're not sure of your reaction, right? Because maybe you guys aren't having a conversation. So interesting to me the amount of people that are willing to get naked and have sex but can't talk, right? You have to find a way to communicate outside of the bedroom. I communicate heavily with sex, right? Sex is one of my love languages. It's one of the easiest ways that I find to communicate because I find sex to be very vulnerable, very honest, very pure, very authentic, right? You're in the moment, you're both present in the moment, which is great, right? Because so many people are so distracted externally. So you're both present in the moment, you're right there. So your feelings are coming through, your emotions are coming through. Sex is an energy thing, it's not just a physical thing, right? So your energies are combined in that moment. If you guys just had an argument and you're trying to find a resolve, right? You're releasing all that pent up energy, you're releasing all that frustration in the act, which is why makeup sex tends to be so intense, right? We have this really high charged energy behind it, and then we're going in and we're pounding out the frustration, we're pounding out the arguments, we're pounding out the things that weren't able to be said prior to that moment, right? And at the end of that, a lot of that energy has been dissipated and then you're able to have a conversation, right? These are the reasons why makeup sex can be so intense. Having said that, it doesn't have to go that far, right? You should be able to communicate outside of that, right? Sex is supposed to be fun and fulfilling and satisfying to everyone, right? It shouldn't just be one person is feeling good at the end or they got their shit off and you're sitting there all up in your feelings feeling some kind of way. That's not cool. It's not a good look. And it goes for men and women, right? I know men that will just fake it sometimes, or they'll be popping like Viagra or popping ecstasy or doing whatever they can to perform at a different level with their partners and not necessarily being authentic in themselves, right? Maybe they're nervous that they won't be able to keep it up as long as they don't pop their pills, right? Maybe they are feeling a little nervous, right? And so that gives them kind of like an escapism, right? Because if you're kind of like all twisted and your barriers have been dropped and your boundaries have been dropped, you're a little bit more apt to see to do other things, right? So I'm not saying go out there and start popping some Viagra and start popping some ecstasy in order to have better sex. I'm saying if you have a conversation, you can get there, right? You can learn to enjoy each other. You can learn about each other's bodies. You can learn about pleasure. And I highly recommend that you understand your own body first, right? Really understand what your likes and your dislikes are. Do you like touching yourself? Do you like looking at yourself in the mirror? Are you good with self pleasure, right? Are you okay with that? Is that a conversation? Are you willing to have those conversations? Do you need more in the bedroom, right? Are you maybe wanting oral sex and not receiving it? Or maybe that's something your partner wants from you and you don't know how to do it and you feel awkward or difficult or ashamed if you're in the act. Like there's so many things that go on in the bedroom that need to be discussed. Have a conversation, right? Have a conversation about oral sex. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want more of it? Do you want less of it? Do you need it? Do you don't? Like I know I love to get my pussy ate, but I don't always like it the way that other women like it, right? Like me, it's focused on the clitoral. I don't need you trying to fuck me with your tongue. It's not doing anything for me. I'm not really big on getting eaten from the back. That's not really doing it for me. And I'm very clear with that with my partner. It's like, hey, if that's cool and it's turning you on in the moment, cool, I'm in it, But if you're doing it thinking it's turning me on, it's not. right? Like we can do something else. But I'm very clear about that. And sometimes it'll shift to that position and sometimes it won't. And sometimes I might want the little extra thrown in there at the end, but that's not my main focus. But I'm very clear about my likes and my dislikes, right? I don't know if you saw my facials video, but that's like a thing. Like, don't be jizzing all in my face. Like, hard no for me. Just not with it. I don't really like anal sex, right? That's just not my thing. There are a ton of people that do. I know a ton of my girlfriends that will prefer anal sex over vaginal sex any day of the week. Any day of the week, hands down. They're like, yes, I love it, you know? And I'm like, good, bitch, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Give them all three holes. Rock out with his cock out. Do your thing. You know what I mean? But they're willing to have those conversations with their partners, right? They're willing to have those conversations with me. I had a couple that I was working with, and although she has children, she was almost virginal when it came to sex, right? You can have kids and not have a great, active, amazing sex life, right? And the partners that she was with were very selfish and egotistical and narcissistic and abusive, right? So it's not like she felt comfortable letting them know that she wasn't digging their sex. By the time I met her, she was getting out of a bad relationship and working and moving on to another relationship. Her and another friend of ours got together, and he started pouring love into her, right? He's communicating with her. He's telling her she's beautiful. He's pouring into her and letting her know that she's worthy and she's deserving, right? Which is something that she didn't have in other relationships. So now that she's in this space and she's in the safe space and she's feeling seen and she's feeling heard and she's feeling beautiful, right? She's seeing herself the way that he's seeing her. And it's making her feel more comfortable in bed and she's starting to get more open to things. So then I get a phone call like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm like, got you. Where shall we start? Do you like this? Do you like that? Have you ever done this before? Have you ever tried that? Right? This woman was very shy, very reserved, very within herself. And so we did little things, right? Went from shirts that were turtlenecks all the time to just, a little dip, maybe a little V-neck every once in a while, and his eyes would glow, right? And she would see that and she would feel even more confident, right? Shoulders back, feeling even sexier, right? That energy is permeating through their system the whole night. And by the time they get home, they're having amazing sex. She's expressing herself in bed in a way she's never had before. She's more open now. She's feeling more confident, right? And he's stepping into it because he wants to know what she likes and what she doesn't like. So then he's coming to me like, I want to try these new things, but I'm nervous because she's so shy, right? So then we're working together. I'm telling him baby steps, give her a little this, maybe slide a finger here every once in a while, listen, watch her body, ask her, do you like this? Like literally, do you like this? You can listen to your partner and hear their likes and don't likes, right? Our bodies tend to betray us at times, right? So you can very simply pay attention to your partner. Take the time to just stop and have a conversation. If you're not comfortable with the conversation, then in the middle of your intimate acts, because if you can fuck and not talk, which is odd to me, then talk while you're fucking, right? While you're kissing, do you like that? Do you like being kissed here? Do you like when I suck you here? Do you like when I taste you here? Do you like when I touch you here? And go through the motions with the body and focus on one of you at a time, right? Maybe one of you is lying there and just listening and feeling and touching. And then you're doing that to your partner. You're touching them, you're feeling them, you're hearing them, but you're communicating, right? At the end of the day, you're communicating. You guys are communicating. You have to talk. You have to talk. And if you're not in a relationship and you're not with a partner that you feel open with, then who can you talk to? I mean, obviously, you can talk to me. You can call me for a coaching session, text me, email me. I got you all day. But you have to be able to talk and express yourself. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what satisfaction feels like for me. I've never had an orgasm, or I have had an orgasm. And if you did have an orgasm, cool. What brought you there? Right? Was it vaginal penetration? Was it anal penetration? Was it fellatio? Was it cunnilingus? Like, what are you guys doing that'll bring you to that point? What did your partner do to help get you to that point, to have you be safe in that moment? Or did you only have that experience by yourself? Or have you never had this experience and that's something that you're aiming towards, right? Do you want to do the work so that you can have more satisfying, fulfilling, pleasurable, magical sexual experiences? Your sex should be amazing. I'm not trying to have sex and not be good afterwards. Like, literally, if we're having sex and I'm not good, what is the purpose? And there are going to be times. There are going to be times, especially if you're in a relationship and you guys live together, where sometimes it's just going to be about their pleasure and sometimes it's just going to be about your pleasure, right? Sometimes that quickie is enough for both of you. Sometimes you're not in the mood and they want to do their thing and you got them. And sometimes they're not in the mood, but they're going to hook you up because y'all are right there and this is your thing, right? It's a give and take thing. I get it. But 9.9 times out of 10, my bed should be soaked, my legs should be sore, I should be wondering about my morals. You know what I mean? I should want to look at you in a different way and be like, oh my God, did we just do all of that? You know what I'm saying? So I implore you to communicate. There's so many ways that we can open these conversations. So hit comments down below. Let me know if this is something that you've been dealing with, if you're willing to have open conversations, how you do have open conversations, right? Like, how are you communicating in bed? How are you communicating before you guys get to the bedroom? Sex happens outside the bedroom. Sex begins, I should say, outside of the bedroom. So how are you communicating? How are you showing up? Are you willing are you willing to speak your truth about what it is that you want so that you can have a more fulfilling, satisfying, magical sexual experience? So that you can go in and get your thing ate and get that dick sucked and work it all out and be floating through your motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying? Just like walking on sunshine. All right. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. I hope you enjoyed this message, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.